Bertrand Russell said, "Metaphysics, or the attempt to conceive the world as a whole by means of thought, has been developed, from the first, by the union and conflict of two very different human impulses, the one urging men towards mysticism, the other urging them towards science." As ever, Russell was talking nonsense. Metaphysics is the attempt to conceive the world through reason and logic, and its ultimate expression is ontological mathematics. Metaphysics is about addressing reality conceptually rather than perceptually, via thinking rather than sensing. Mysticism is driven by feeling intuitives, definitely not by thinking intuitives. Science is driven by empiricists. Abrahamism is for people who want to enter into an emotional relationship with the supposed greatest power in the universe, God. Metaphysics is driven by thinking types. The biggest disaster in intellectual history was that metaphysics failed to evolve into ontological mathematics, while physics grabbed mathematics and pressed it into the service of sensory empiricism. Mathematics, instead of being what it is, the ultimate exploration of reason, logic, conceptualism, universals, and thinking, was made to serve perceptualism, perceiving not judging, sensing not thinking, being stupid, not smart. Idealism. So, you think you understand idealism? Okay. Can you define the difference between subjective, objective, absolute, transcendental, and mathematical idealism? Which one enshrines realism, i.e., which one encapsulates idealism in terms of fundamental, objective, ontological entities that convey an exact epistemology and metaphysics? Although panpsychic materialism is absurd, this is the notion that all material things have minds, panpsychic idealism is entirely coherent. This is the notion that all matter is produced by mind, hence mind by that fact is associated with all matter. In these terms, panpsychism is a synonym for idealism. All is mind. Mind is everywhere, in everything, regardless of how unmindlike a thing may seem. Destination addiction? Robert Holden wrote, "Beware of destination addiction, the idea that happiness is in the next place, the next job, or even with the next partner. Until you give up the idea that happiness is somewhere else, it will never be where you are." You should also beware journey addiction, the idea that where you are right now is happiness, hence it doesn't matter where you are going or what your destination is, so you will never reach anywhere and you will never achieve anything. Journey addiction is for slackers and losers, for people too scared to reach any destination, and so they never do. Anti-logic. Muse said, "Let me try something on you. So, if logically 0 equals 0, how do you solve that?" It's remarkable how many people think in this bizarre way. Logically, 0 equals 0. What's logical about saying that 0 equals 0? Does 1 equal 1? 0 is in fact the balance point for all positives and all negatives, so it cannot be prefixed by any sign. There is no such thing as +0 or .0, hence the original assertion is absurd and reflects a total ignorance of what 0 is. What always amazes us is how much time and effort people invest in total nonsense in order to be clever dicks and to try to argue that they have somehow undermined rational arguments. You haven't. You never will. You ought to go back to school and get a whole new education. Learn how to respect learning rather than having contempt for it. Stupid people always despise knowledge. That's why they always fail in life. The 6+0-dimensional person. You are not a 4-dimensional person, as science claims, a person of 3 spatial dimensions moving through 1 temporal dimension. You are a 6-dimensional body linked to a 0-dimensional dimensionless, non-local, non-space-time, immaterial entity, your monadic mind. The 6 dimensions are 3 spatial and 3 orthogonal temporal dimensions, which are in fact dimensions of imaginary space. They render your body a local space-time material entity. Mind connects to matter via a 0-dimensional frequency domain linking to a 6-dimensional space-time domain. The unextended domain of mind linking to the extended domain of matter, exactly as Descartes said. You can never understand reality unless you understand this ontology. Descartes thought he was dealing with a substance dualism of mind and matter. In fact, it's a mathematical monism connecting 2 domains indissolubly linked by ontological Fourier mathematics. To this day, virtually no one realizes that Descartes' notorious interaction problem. How can mind and matter coexist and interact if they have nothing in common? Has been completely solved mathematically. People do not want mathematics to be the answer. and so they ignore the answer, or they simply don't understand it. It's beyond their IQ. Science usually says that we are 3D spatial creatures existing in one-time dimension, but if you poke it, science will start talking about many more dimensions, such as the 11 dimensions of M-theory. It will start talking about unfolded big dimensions and folded tiny dimensions. It might say that 1D strings are the basis of existence, hence of our existence too. What you can be sure of is that science will never come to any definitive answer. It's incapable of reaching such an answer because it rejects top-down universalism in favor of bottom-up particularism. Pointless. Can anyone anywhere point to single session of meditation and mindfulness which has led to any positive benefit whatsoever for the human race? Please, just one example. On the same note, can anyone point to single session of prayer and faith which has had any worthwhile consequences? By contrast, there are countless examples of sessions of mathematics, science, medicine, engineering, and technology which have transformed the world. Why is it that pointless activities are held in such high esteem, while activities with a point are held in such contempt? Well, it's all to do with hedonism. Mathematics, science, medicine, engineering, and technology all require hard work, lots of time, qualifications, and so on, while meditation and mindfulness, prayer, and faith simply require you to be retarded. The great day will come when no human ever again meditates or prays, never again practices mindfulness, or has any faith. Pointless people believe in pointless things. That's why so many humans engage in meditation and prayer, mindfulness and faith. A total waste of time. Literally 100% useless and worthless. The Creatrix. The Creatrix is the matrix for creative people. It's where they have their most creative ideas. The whole world should be turned into a Creatrix.